Hey guys, what's up? Optimus Tom here, and gonna take full advantage of the new spectator mode to bring you a little segment that I like to call I See What You Did There. This is the first episode, so I'm still kind of fleshing some things. I just kind of came over the idea while I was at work today, and basically what I'm going to be doing is taking full advantage of spectator mode to be able to really look into the pros and get you guys kind of like an in the zone kind of look at not only what their builds are going to be, just basically how the games unfold too. So it's like one part in the zone, one part live broadcast. And today, as I was looking through the little live stream things, I noticed that we get to see DontMashMe playing Varus. As we can see here, he's already doing a bunch of stuff in this bottom lane as we're setting this up. It's going to be really cool because I'm not only going to be able to cast the match as I would normally, like a regular match, but I would also be able to go over a player's build and how his mentality is while I'm doing this with you. So you can see here, you know, Mashme's picked up a double kill while Nocturne comes over the jungle to try to gank him. He lost his support character early on, but he's playing Varus, a fairly new character, which is part of the reason why I've actually just chosen to focus in on Mashme for this game. Just so you guys get a real idea of like, alright, well, what can Varus do? Why would you be playing him in the ranged carry position as opposed to someone else? And what you would be doing instead of this. So like I said, not only am I going to be kind of just casting the game as it goes on with the directed camera mode and the ability to really just follow on top of these champions now, but I'm also going to be able to take notes on the build, cast a little bit of the game too, so you guys get that excitement like I'm casting a match. But we'll always kind of fall back into one or two specific players and really take a quick look at their build. As we see here, he started out by getting boots and 3 health potions. I'm sorry, I jumped into the game at about 8 minutes because that is the thing with spectator mode and the featured matches is you really don't get to jump in the game until they're underway for a little bit. But we did see as he has Berserker's Greaves, 2 Doran's Blades, some health potions remaining, and a pickaxe. He's not really had a very hard time in the bottom lane. He has a support Taric, so he's kind of got everything Varus is going to need in a support character. Hard CC in Taric's Dazzle, that's his stun, and he's also going to have Imbue, which is his heal, Taric's Q, to keep him healed up and A-OK in the laning phase. So, as you can see here, Mashme's had a very nice lane in the bottom lane. He's actually ahead of Graves by over 15 CS right now, so he's got a decent lead. He's gone back the first time, picked up double Doran's Blade, and chosen to finish his Berserker's Greaves, and then went back another time, instead of picking up a Vampiric Scepter at that point in time, since he has a sustained champion as a support character in the bottom lane, he's picked up a pickaxe in addition, instead of picking up the Vampiric Scepter. So if we go very quickly, I'm going to be taking the notes while Mashme's going back. First back, Doran's Blade ×2, and finish Berserker's Greaves. And second back, with enough money, skip Vamp Scepter, and go for pickaxe. And then we see here he's actually gone back and picked up a BF sword. Lots of money, because use a pimp, get a BF sword. Alright. So while Mashme's gone back to his regular laning phase, why don't we actually just take a quick look around the map to see who he's playing with. We see there's a Nidalee in the top lane, going for a AD Nidalee, so no poke comp coming out of this team, despite having a Cannon in the middle lane and Varus in the bottom lane. They could technically have a very strong poke comp, although their jungler is going to be an Udyr, going for the Phoenix stance build, and Udyr can't necessarily poke, so Kimchi Stew kind of, you know, the secondary poke comp in this team is not there, so AD Nidalee fits into the top lane very nicely. We can see who he's going against. It seems that there is a Blitzcrank and a Graves in the bottom lane. Fornot Zenkent, or Zekent, is actually going to be playing the Blitzcrank, which is pretty cool. We've seen a lot of more support Blitzcranks in the high ELO matches. We see, although Nocturne in the jungle is going to be going for a gang, has an Oracle's Elixir, so Taric didn't know what was up, wanted to go placing a ward, but something just didn't seem right. His Blitzcrank missed with the arm, so they kind of knew something was up over there, so he chose not to go in, which is a very smart move. We see Pew Pew as Graves in the bottom lane against this Varus. Does not necessarily have the same kind of farm. Varus actually has 4 kills and 0 deaths to Graves' 1 kill and 3 deaths, so he's going to be a lot more behind Mashme in the bottom lane here as he has a BF sword. What they don't know is actually Kimchi Stew. Actually, they do know because of this ward here. Kimchi Stew's gone over here. Blitzcrank missing an arm randomly. That's going to pop and engage down on the Graves, and that makes Mashme's kill count up to 5. So you can see actually saving the ultras, and now he's going to be able to go on Zenkent, but that's actually going to proc Nocturne to go out of here from the jungle. There's an enemy Karthus on the team, so Mashme's actually going to go down to this gang, but Blitzcrank and Nocturne are very low. Looks like Kimchi wants to go in for this. Blitzcrank is going to have the CC in his E to knock up Udyr. Actually, very nice kiting around the tower to actually bait the use the flash there. So Udyr was not taking tower hits. If he had been taking tower hits, that would have been a dead Udyr in a superb juking style by that Blitzcrank. But actually, either way, worked out A-OK. They took down MashMe. Graves did not get any kills, unfortunately. Actually, Karthus picking up a kill, as we see here. Against this Ken, Karthus has pieces. Ooh, actually, Ken is going to engage on top of Karthus. AoE's going all over the place. Nidalee actually coming in, so that's going to force Karthus to actually burn the flash over the wall with the blue buff on it. Looks like he could have had the best of that Ken. He's going to put the wall down. Nidalee's going to jump through it, though, so she does have that pounce, so it's going to be a lot harder to slow her down. It looks like in the meantime that the remaining parts of the red team are going to try starting this dragon attempt. Udyr, despite Udyr being very, very low, Nocturne is here causing a lot of damage. Kennen comes in, Taric is here, Nidalee coming in from the top lane, and now MashMe making up the bottom lane here. They are going to secure this dragon. Riven actually coming in from following that. Nidalee misses her key strike, though. That's going to be very, very key. She's not able to pick up a kill on Udyr or Kennen. Her ultimate did not finish them off enough. MashMe and Taric actually falling back towards the bottom lane. MashMe has to be very careful. He's all by himself. He does not want to get pulled through that wall. That'd be very, very dangerous. I don't care how far he is ahead in that lane. But this Blitzcrank apparently, Zenken, you're having a hard time hitting those arms in this game. So MashMe's going to make it out of there A-OK. Calvin92 actually going to be able to dodge a couple Riven shots there. MashMe has to burn his flash early so he doesn't get caught by that Blitzcrank arm again. And now the bottom lane's in a very precarious position because they could get dove. Nidalee is going to cause a great distraction, though, just falling back to middle lane after this and taking out a tower. Not even really going back too much. She actually just walked through, healed up using the E of hers. She does have level 5 of that. That's only going to give the swipe to push the lane. Very, very beastly E. But it's going to be giving her the heal as well. So after that engagement at Dragon, she healed herself up through the jungle after running away and caused a distraction in the middle lane here, took down that tower, actually seized the opportunity because there were 4 in the bottom lane. But this also technically worked as a distraction for MashMe in the bottom lane because he was in prime position to get dove. Graves was over here. There were 3 people right here in front of him. He was in a very, very bad position and could have gotten dove instantaneously. But Karthus and Nocturne decided to come over and try to contest this Nidalee at the tower. We see now that Riven has decided to go back to her own top lane, getting a little bit of a fight here with Nidalee. Blitzcrank actually come from the bottom lane. I don't know if there are any MIAs called or what, but Nidalee had no idea this is going down after having such good presence to be able to go into that middle lane. No ward coverage in the top lane means that Nidalee's actually going to fall down and not be able to do anything. But let's take a quick look back at MashMe here. Is he taking advantage of the fact that the enemy support character is in the top lane, so he's just going to keep pushing down and keep pressing this advantage. So as we tab out really quickly, going to go over our notes here. Keep eyes on map and press any advantages. This is enhanced if you have a hard CC support character. And we'll see an example if we have Taric, Alistar, etc. But as I'm doing this, actually, we see there's an engagement as Kennen comes in from the middle lane. Nocturne comes in from the jungle to try to stop this push. Actually popping ultimate down on Taric on top of the Karthus ultimate. Graves is going to miss his ulti, though. So there is no Taric kill being picked up. MashMe and OMG Scott XD, with a little face up there, is going to be able to get out of there A-OK. So what seemed to, be a very, very good push for the red team actually did turn out to be that indeed. Taric kept himself healed up A-OK with his imbue, which is actually only level 3 at this point, opting to pick up Shatter first. This is also going to be very great for MashMe in the bottom lane. He has a lane that focuses on a Blitzcrank, who is going to be dealing magic damage when he pulls you in with the arm, but the E dealing double damage is physical damage. So Blitzcrank's not going to be able to deal the maximum amount of damage even if Taric has a Shatter Aura. In addition to this being in the bottom lane, you're going to be obviously facing off against other range carry champions that deal physical damage. So Varus is going to benefit from that Shatter Aura because he's going to be getting the increased armor from Taric. If Taric gets a good stun off and is able to shatter the enemy champion, especially that range carry, he's going to be able to not only deal a decent amount of damage, but reduce their armor because that's what Shatter does. We see Nidalee pick up a kill on the top lane. My caster instincts are taking over and I'm just trying to follow one person. I'm just gonna turn the camera on the manual and go up that way. So if I randomly look at other stuff, that's just me trying to fight the urge to actually cast the game and more follow MashMe throughout it. But as I was talking about, Taric's Shadow Aura really makes a lot of awesome in this, because Varus is very AD dependent on his items. As we see, he actually picked up a Bloodthirster, not the Infinity Edge, just to get those stacks up, because he has so much more farm than this Graves in the bottom lane. He knows he's able to farm like this. He did get a little bit more sustain, because he skipped that Vampiric Scepter, if you recall, a little bit earlier, and has gone straight for a cloak of agility, not even waiting for this. But you do see he's going to get a good engage with his ultimate here to really grab that Karthus. So actually bounces towards Nocturne and lets Nidalee pick up a kill on Nocturne. Now look at this, he's staying very far away from the fight. He is in tower range right here, but he's not in everybody's space. He's staying super far away. It's going to allow his team to pick up kills on Graves in addition to Blitzcrank, and he's going to be able to finish off Karthus. Now we see that Nidalee and Kennen have fallen back. Riven is coming in doing a little bit of cleanup duty to actually pick up a kill on Taric. Match is all by himself here, so he wants to get away. Varus has none of these escapes that other champions have in the bottom lane, like those range carry positions. Like, he doesn't have a trap or a net like Caitlyn does. He's more like a Kog'Maw who has a little bit of an AoE slow, and that's it. Once he uses it, that thing's on a ridiculous amount of cooldown. He's not going to be able to use it again to get away very easily at all. But he did stay very far back in that team fight and just let his arrows fly and let his range really deal the damage. So if we go over to our notes right here, keep your distance. You do not want to take damage. You want to dish it out. Alright, well that's obvious. You need to keep your distance. You're going to be able to maximize your skills that way. And don't forget to focus, because your Blighted Quiver is going to be able to stack up to 3 stacks on a target within 6 seconds. So if you get 3 stacks on a champion, there's 6 seconds between those stacks being applied and you not doing anything with them before they disappear. So you can actually focus down a couple of champions and use your skills wisely. Like, if you know you can set up a piercing arrow to hit 2 different champions, there's no reason not to try to auto attack 2 different champions in a fight to maximize your percentage of HP damage. It's something you really got to keep in mind, because otherwise, you know, you're not going to lose out on damage potential. Now you see he's staying far back again, initiating with his ultimate. It's going to go from Nocturne to Graves. Udyr's actually going to take down Karthus, a completely different part of the fight, but now look at this. Mashme's taking a lot of damage because there's no one else near him. He is going to be able to pick up a kill on Graves, though, because of the sustain he has from his Bloodthirster and the ridiculous amount of farming he has over everybody. The other enemy team didn't really count on the fact that they were going to be completely zoned by Udyr and Nidalee and everybody over here. We even see them picking up a kill on Nocturne. Mashme's going to be able to chase down this Blitzcrank, actually just chase him into the rest of his team, where Nidalee's going to pick up a double kill. That's actually only going to leave Riven up right now, and Pain, Cammy Cat, you know, you're a little unfortunate for you, because the rest of your team has seemed to completely disappear. Because they did try to go on to MashMe. Graves and Blitzcrank did a really good job doing this. Unfortunately, the rest of their team were separated. Graves and Blitzcrank already had a ridiculously low amount of HP when they engaged on MashMe. MashMe was able to just sustain himself well because of the Bloodthirster, apply the proper amount of stacks before using the finishing moves to pick up the kill on Graves. He wanted to pick up a kill, helping the team pick up a kill on Blitzcrank because they were so far separated in that fight. He kept his distance from the main fight, which was going on somewhere over here by the tower, and fought a fight he knew he could win over here. You know, he has the summoners of Ignite and Flash, so he get himself out of a sticky situation. He initiated with his ultimate, so he knew that, you know, he had that down. He positioned it in order for the team to pick up kills and go into the fight. And once the enemies were low enough, you know, he was able to be like, all right, well, I can 1v2 at this point, because Blitzcrank's not going to be dealing enough damage to really do anything besides CC me at this point. Even if he silences me, it's just going to give me time to build up my stacks on Graves before I just quickly do a hail of arrows or a piercing arrow to pick up a kill on him. So Graves was if Graves had been at half HP or higher, that would have been a really, really bad fight for MashMe. But because Graves was so low, he was just able to stay in there and use his sustain and be OP because of it. So we see on his back he's picked up an Infinity Edge. He has an extra dagger that is going to be turning into a Phantom Dancer. After this, we could probably expect him to sell that Doran's Blade and go for a Last Whisper. It's just your standard range carry build. So if we do this, we already have the, don't forget to focus, use your stacks wisely. Only fight battles you know you can win. Keep your build simple. Standard AD carry items seem to work best. So we have a lot of notes on this Varus now, and this is all coming from, you know, a player that you guys have heard of. This is DontMashMe. You guys know who he is. He's a pro player. So, you know, this character is fairly new, and he seems intimidating, and seems like there's so many things you could do, but, you know, we have a bunch of notes already on MashMe's Varus, where we could be like, okay, well, we know what to do, just get our starting items. We know what happens on our first back. We know what happens when we get our second back, and how to manage our money and our items. We know what support characters we're going to be looking for in a lane with Varus, and we know how to play the bottom lane with Varus against other range carry champions. You know, we know what to do in team fights. We know how to stay back, kind of be Kog'Maw-ish, but, you know, a little bit beefier than Kog'Maw, but still with as many escapes as Kog'Maw, which is absolutely none unless you're running Flash. You know, you have to be very, very wise to what's going on the map, so you can press your advantages and fall back during your disadvantages. You need to not forget to focus and use your stacks wisely. Only fight battles you know you can win, and keep your build simple. So now that we have, you know, notes on Varus, let's get into a full casted game. As this team fight goes down, Nidalee immediately takes down Blitzcrank. Kennan's ultimate is going to immediately melt Karthus and Riven. MashMe, of course, going to pick up a kill on Nocturne. Karthus' ultimate is going to go off, but not pick up anybody. The red team is just too far ahead at this point, ladies and gentlemen. Nidalee seals the deal on the ace, and that's actually going to be a surrender out of the blue team. So, very awesome. You know, we saw a high-level Varus, and we saw a team that was able to really, you know, do stuff with him. So, if the League of Legends lets my mouse get out of here. All right, so what did we learn from this one, guys? Well, let's take a look at our notes that we took, okay? So, I'll bring those up for you. All right, right away, we see here, notes on DontMashMe's Varus in this game. Starting items include boots and 3 health potions. On your first back, double Doran's Blade, and he finished up his Berserker's Greaves, going for a little bit more of a positioning and an attack speed to deal damage, instead of going for the Vampiric Scepter to give himself a little bit more sustain. Second back with enough money, he skipped the Vampiric Scepter and went straight for a pickaxe. Therefore, he was going to maximize his amount of damage because he was already 15 or more CS ahead of Graves in the bottom lane, so he wasn't too worried about Graves picking up in farm or trying to really just deal a lot of damage. He also had a Taric in his bottom lane because he picked that character, so he has enhanced by this hard CC from a support character, and, you know, Taric, Alistar, something like that would have been great. He kept his eyes on the map and pressed his advantages. When Blitzcrank went into the top lane to pick up a kill on Nidalee, he fought close to the tower and took down the tower. When Nocturne was close by on the map, he played passively, or he played aggressively when his own jungle Udyr was nearby, so he could take advantage of what Udyr does best, which is counter gank a gank, because Udyr has ridiculous speed. He could come in there with his bear stance, get a quick stun down on whoever's going to be coming into that lane, and he could pick up easy kills that way. So playing to the strengths of his jungler, on top of the fact of keeping map awareness, and the fact that he has a Taric in the lane that has a heal and a hard CC and that stun, makes it just super valuable, and makes him able to do things such as go for a relatively low sustain build on this Varus, where he skips that Vampiric Scepter and picks up the pickaxe. Then after, you know, he's doing extremely well at 4-0 with about 30 more CS than the Graves at that point. He's got lots of money because he's a pimp, so he goes back and buys himself a BF sword. In team fights, he's keeping his distance. You don't want to take too much damage. You want to be the one dishing it out. And don't forget to focus. Use your stacks of Blighted Quiver wisely. If you're going to want to maximize your percent of HP damage on the enemy champions, you're going to be wanting to apply as many stacks on as many different champions in that 6-second time period as possible. If you look very closely at your attack speed, you'll be able to deal basically 1 shot every second. So after 5 auto attacks, you're going to know that one champion can have a maximum of 3 stacks, and one champ is going to have 2 stacks. So you can do is use your arrow to either hit that enemy champion that has 3, or hit them both to use all the stacks. That means that you're going to have at least 2 or 3 seconds on the champion that has 2 stacks on it still. So even if you miss them with your piercing arrow or your hail of arrows, you can then maximize the stacks on them, get 2 more stacks on someone else in the fight, and then use your spells again. So don't forget, guys, use your stacks wisely, and that is a key to mastering the amount of pure raw HP damage that Varus can deal in these later stage team fights. Don't forget also, only fight battles you know you can win, or OYU, I've typoed that over here. The only fight battles you know you're going to win. If you're in a 2 versus 1 and you think you can take it, like going back to the fight where Graves was at less than half HP and Blitzcrank was at half HP and MashMe's Varus was at full HP. He used his ultimate already to initiate the team fight, but because they were so low and because he was so much farther ahead and had just picked up a Bloodthirster and gotten a couple stacks on it, so now all of a sudden he had sustain he didn't have in the laning phase, he knew that he could take the fight. He took out Graves very, very quickly by using his stacks wisely and finishing it off with one of his skills as a finishing move. He then, was only left between him and Blitzcrank, so he chased Blitzcrank around the map while he was back to the fight where his team had separated from them, got this separation that Varus wanted to take that 2v1 and not have to worry about Riven or someone else like a Nocturne coming into that fight. So he led Blitzcrank back to his team, literally picked up a double kill because of this. So, he only fought the battles he knew he could win. If he didn't know he could win it, he stayed back or ran back at that point in time. Also, for guys thinking of what item build you want to use best on Varus, keep it simple. Standard AD carry items seem to work best. At the end of the game, what did MashMe have? We take a quick look over here. He had an Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, a Dagger going for that Phantom Dancer, 2 Doran's Blades, and Berserker's Greaves. We'll be seeing this on basically every range character out of the bottom lane that you could think of. You use these on Ashe, you use these on Caitlyn, you use these on Corki, you use these on Kog'Maw, you use these on Ezreal. It's the same build for basically every champion in the bottom lane, because like these champions, even though Varus has a toolkit that does a lot of different kinds of things, he's going to be basically maximizing the AD damage to take advantage of everything else, rather than trying to find other items that will take advantage of his funky skill set, but leave him without the raw DPS that other range carries can have in the bottom lane. So, guys, this is the first little look at what I'm probably going to be doing almost every day after work. I call it I see what you did there. Basically going to be going into the featured matches, or taking a quick look at my buddy list and finding one of the pros to go watch in voyeur spectator mode, and try to learn what they're doing. So not only can I teach you guys what's going on, but I could give you like a entertaining casted kind of game at the same time. So it's it's a little bit of in the zone, a little bit of battle arena. Smash it all together and make something really cool for you guys to check out. But this has been stalking MashMe's Varus. Varus is a new character. Hopefully you guys have a good idea how to play it. You have some backup as a pro player doing this build and doing what he was doing. You guys can go back and reference this in case you wanted to check that out. So anyway, guys, first episode of I See What You Did There. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and come back to more. If you guys are watching this live, check it out. Uploading everything to my YouTube channel after this, youtube.com/Optimus Tom TV. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter so I can let you guys know when I'm going to be recording these live in case you want to tune in. Facebook.com/Optimus Tom TV. On Twitter @OptimusTom. Don't forget, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, live streams are found on own.tv and twitch.tv/Optimus_Tom. So hope you guys have enjoyed this, and we'll come back for more because we'll have the next episode up before you know it. See you guys later.